Welcome back without the dramatic pause to Simple Truth. Hey, we went backwards last week. My producer's looking at me going, did we go backwards? We, we went backwards. I want you to look with me at 18 of 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel chapter 18, right? And I want to read these verses to you, and then we're going to go ahead, maybe, unless I get stuck. Right? Saul took him that day, would not let him return to his father's house. Then Jonathan made a covenant with David because he loved him as his own soul. Jonathan stripped himself of the robe that was on him, gave it to David and his armor, and even his sword, his bow, his belt. Right? I'm sure that we talked about that. But let me piece this together, right? I was talking this last Sunday about the story of Joshua. I was talking about the 2.5 tribes that were on the east side of the Jordan, and they were told they had to go and help with the west side. They had to go take the promised land. And it says in there something very interesting. It says you got to send your best warriors, your best soldiers. And I was challenging our people, you got to help people out. And when you help people out, you got to give them your best. Right? Servanthood is about bestum, right? It's about being the best, giving the best. It's not about, hey, I've got these leftover soldiers that are worn out, 95 years old. Back then that would have been still okay, right? But we're not giving you our leftovers. I'm giving you my best, right? Very rarely do people invite you to dinner for leftovers, right? They give you your best. They pull out the fatted calf and they do all these things, right? The best. Right? So Jonathan here, what does he do? He gives David the best, his sword, right? He gives him his bow, his belt, right? Not going out and buying something, right? But gives him his stuff. I think about this all the time when I think about people who look at your outfit that you're wearing for the day. This doesn't tend to happen with guys so much, but it happens with women, right? They look at your outfit and they're like, oh, I love that outfit. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's so great, right? How many women do you see that say, like, would you like it? You want it? Right? I'll give it to you. I'll wash it, clean it, and I'll give it to you. You can have it. No, we tell them where we bought it. We tell them how much it cost us. And we say, like, oh, yeah, you'd look great in this. You should go get it. You should go get it. Walmart has another pair. No, servanthood isn't you tell them where it is or even go offer to go get it or go buy it for them that way. Servant is you give them your best. Now, we could argue whether your worn clothes is best than going to Walmart and doing new clothes, but the concept is you immediately, right? When's the last time that you've interacted with God that? You just immediately give him your best, the best of your time, the best of who you are. You just, boom, it's a reaction. Right? I want you to have this. When's the last time you did it to a person? I'm going to clear my schedule. I'm going to give you the best of me. Right? I want to give you the best of me. No, we give people leftovers. We give them what we want all the time. But are you giving the people that you say you love, are you giving them the best of what you have? We always think of that as money, resources, that kind of stuff. Oh, I can't because I can't afford it. Can't do this. No, the best of you is you. That's by definition, I think, somewhere in there, right? God looks at it and says, no, you're the answer. You go. I'm sending you. You do it. You be it. You need to send somebody else. Talking about this recently, when you get into lawyers and people that are big, you're right. What do they do? You can tell whether or not your case is important enough as to who you see, right? You walk into a business and you can tell how important you are based on who you see. Is the business giving you the best of them, right? You can go into church. You go into church and you can tell how important you are based on who you see. Do you get the assistant pastor? Do you get the secretary? Do you get the second assistant pastor, the first assistant pastor, or do you make it into the inner sanctum to the senior pastor level? Like you get into his office. Have you ever seen your senior pastor's office? Listen, I guarantee you walk up to the secretary and say, I'd like to write a check right now for $50,000 to the church, and you're going to get into the inner sanctum. You're going to get to the senior pastor. But go to the secretary, ask the secretary if you can see the pastor because you have a Bible verse for them. Hey, God gave me a verse for pastor day. Can I please see him? See if they scrap their schedule to talk to you. There are pastors out there that would do that. They would want to know. And there are other pastors who would say, just write it down for me. I'll look it up later. But can you imagine that working in the Old Testament when the prophets came to the king and said, can you just write the message down? I'm a little busy. I know God wants to talk to me, but, hey, if you walked up to your church secretary and you said, hey, can I please pray for the senior pastor right now? I need to pray for him. God told me to come here and pray with him. You think he's going to cancel his meetings? You think he's going to cancel whatever it is and say, yep, I want that. I need that. But if that prayer came with a checkbook, then yeah. Isn't it funny, right? God wants you to give your best to people. Your best to people is usually ministry of presence. Be there. Just be there. I was saying recently, hey, servanthood takes on different levels. Sometimes servanthood is just listening to somebody. Man, that's really hard for me. That's like mind-boggling that somebody would want to come in and just let me listen to them. What was more mind-boggling is that I would be wanting to do that, or that I'd be able to do that. It's really hard to sit and listen to somebody and not want to fix them. It's really, really, really scary. Right? Like, wait, you just came in here and talked to me. Now I don't feel like I pastored. Now I don't feel like I did anything. Now I don't feel like I... But there's something to that whole thing. So listen, we're still on review of. I didn't get anywhere today, but I want to leave that and just leave it right there. Let it stew. Slow cooker Christianity. How's that? Like you've heard that before. It's been preached all over the world. That's not new with me, right? I'm trying to figure out a rotisserie, moment type of thing, but that's not going to happen either. So listen, I want you to do a homework assignment for me, right? I'm going to grade it based on you and God. I want you to be brave enough to ask God today to give you an opportunity to give your best to somebody. And then I want you to take a step back and I want you to not predetermine what that best is. Right? So again, here's what happens. I say that prayer and then somebody walks through my door and I'm like, yes, there it is. God give me this. And I just poof. And this poor lovely soul just wanted to deliver me mail or something like that. No, let God give you the moment. Are you willing to stop what you're doing right now? What you think is important in this moment. If somebody walked in the door, if somebody pulled up alongside you, if you saw somebody in a store, at your workplace or wherever, can you stop everything and give them your best? Now, listen, unlike me, who has to make everything a 20-minute sermon, you could actually go to the water fountain at your workplace. I don't even think they do that anymore, right? But I think you could go and you could spend 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes with somebody, and that would be the best of you. I think that it doesn't have to be a long ordeal. It could be the best of you in an elevator. Okay, I'll actually listen to you. I'm actually going to pay attention to you, right? Maybe the best of you, God looks at and says like, hey, I'd love to pull that card every day for you. I'd love to be able to give you to somebody. So do that. Think about that. If you're brave enough, let me know about it. That'd be fantastic. But this is a you and God thing. So we'll see you next time. Simple truth.